All right. I want to pick up off of this, the conversation of the intelligent practitioner. I know we need more breaks, partly so we can just like sit and like journal and discharge limiting beliefs around these pieces. Like I hear you on that component as well. When I talk about that idea of the intelligent practitioner of like, oh, this new era could be easier, it just requires different choices, does that resonate? Like, are we feeling that? Is there anyone else who's like, yes, I'd like to be more strategic so it doesn't all feel so darn hard all the time? Like that is definitely the era that I am stepping into. It's definitely a sentiment I can help lead and emulate for you, because I feel it so strongly in my own life. This is not just something that I'm saying. And like everyone's like, yeah, I need that. Let's pull up my presentation. I want to talk about this idea of like, what role can AI play in optimizing and supporting us in terms of our marketing? Because gosh, wouldn't it be nice if we could like plug AI into all of these high leverage phases? Can you please do my patient research for me? Can you please do the charting part for me? Can you do the marketing part for me? The answer is actually mostly yes. See, this is the thing that's also happening right now. If you're like all in and making the decision, yeah, I want to do this the intelligent way, you also, like the upside, the swag bag that you get is you get a ton of technology to make this easier for you. It's part of the package. So let's jump into that piece. Let's start to look at that. I put this picture here because this idea of like thanking your future self, of putting in an investment today that your future self would thank you for. This is just like one of the spectacular views inside the Sagrada Familia here in Barcelona. And when we walked in the very first time, it just happened to be that there was music playing in the cathedral and it was Ave Maria. And I walked in as this was blaring in this space and I started to cry. It is overwhelmingly beautiful. And not only is it beautiful, but Gaudi took so many risks in building this space. Like so many people are like, this is definitely not how we do it. This is going to be a problem. And not only did he say, I have a vision, I don't care. He kept going. He became very aware that this vision would not be done in his own lifetime. Like what a beautiful example of a person who's like, I'm all in on this. He was very sadly killed in 1926. He was hit by a tram here in Barcelona. He never got to see the Sagrada Familia be finished because it's 100 years since he died and was still not done. But what an incredible testament to these individuals who are like, yeah, I'll take on this project. I'll work on it. I might not even get to see it be finished. People are making decisions to become the intelligent version of whatever their profession is every single day. And honestly, their legacy, we see it. We see their leadership every day. It's beautiful. It looks like this. So can AI market my practice? This is an odd segue, but nonetheless, we're going to hang out. I wanted to introduce you to little bits of Barcelona as we go. Jordan talked about her patient this morning in her talk, how her patient was the head of mental health or suicide support for this organization in Canada. A really important job. This has been my why since my very first day of school. This was the belief that drove me to become a naturopathic doctor a very long time ago. Dates don't matter now. When people have their health, they can change the world. And when Jordan said that this morning in her talk, when she shared that example, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like such a full circle moment. So true. I thought it was like, sometimes it feels like it's just you, right? When people have their health, they can change the world. When a mother has her health, she shows up differently for her kids. When a CEO has their health, holy smokes, it becomes a different value system infused in their business. When a teacher has their health, they show up differently for their students. When the head of a mental health crisis center has their health, guess what they do? They literally change people's lives. This is why I take risks, just so we're all clear. And in 2018 at Impact Lives in Toronto, our theme that year was abundance. I made a declaration on stage, it's on video. I want to put our systems of care, I'm agnostic to your designations. I want to put our system of care into the hands of 30 million people by 2030. I had no idea how we were going to do that. No clue. And then I had the opportunity to start to work with Braden, and we started to build some things together. And I'm going to share with you one of the things that we've built beyond just Health Hives. But then once we conceived of Health Hives, and then once we saw how many profiles we could create, and now as we've released things just in the last few weeks, how many appointments have actually already been booked on this platform for practitioners who didn't even yet know we existed, I was like, I seek permission to amend my vision. What if I can change it to this? I want to put our system of care in the hands of 100 million people by 2030. That is my why. That is why I will take risks. That's why I'll wear funny outfits. That's why I will invest in my future self. That's why I will invest in me as a leader and in my business and in my team, because this is why I get out of bed in the morning. And when it's bigger than yourself, you can take different risks. This is the journey that I'm on. You are welcome to join me. But that's why we built it, because we knew that this was possible. Would you not all agree that our world needs us? They need us. And I'm more committed to this than the way that it happens. This is what I mean by being open to and pivoting your practice. When you know your why, when you know what you're focused on, when you know what you're trying to create, you're like, oh yeah, I can pivot this little thing in my practice. Because this little pivot that I make, this new decision, it gets me there faster, no problem. I do not have to be tied to the way it's always been done. I'm tied to the outcome on the other side. Here's some important business data. Why am I talking about this piece? Because it sets the stage. Why do we need to talk about marketing? Because marketing is the water we pour into that little toy where all the different gears do their thing. I don't care how beautiful your systems are and how many things are perfect in your protocols. If you don't have any water being poured in the little gear thing, do you know the toy I'm talking about? If there's no water going in, the toy doesn't do cool stuff. You need to market. You need new leads. Here's the data. This data stands across all small businesses. The data is not any different in our industries. 20% of new businesses fail within the first year, 50% within 5 years, and 65% by year 10. If it feels hard some days, it's because it is. You have zero training. In fact, most of you are like, I don't actually really even want to be an entrepreneur, Megan. I don't even want to have to confront this data. I really just want to help people. And I don't mean that in any kind of derogatory way. When I was talking about it from the invisible practitioner perspective, I kind of wish that that was true for you too. No one told us this part. This was like a dirty little secret when we were in school. By the way, you're also entrepreneurs. It's just that we wrote it on your diploma. We didn't want to tell you till now. Why did these businesses fail? 82% of them cited cash flow as the primary issue. Why does this matter to us? We need new leads. And we don't just need new leads who can find us. We need new leads who don't take 5 years to convert to come into our clinic. We need leads who are saying, I'm in it. Like Dr. Kirsty's patients. I don't want to just come for 1 or 2 appointments till you relieve the acute impingement on the nerve in my lower back. I kind of don't want this to happen again. I want those kind of patients. Are they not way more fun to treat? I don't want to do reactive medicine. I want to do proactive medicine. That's a different conversation. We need more leads coming in to have that conversation. We need people who want to stick around. We need people who are congruent with our value system, which is investing in our future self. How do we find those people? They don't just come to us because we have 8 gazillion credentials. That doesn't drive more people to us. More certifications do not drive more people to us. It does not make us more aerodynamic. We need a system. We need to acknowledge that marketing isn't about just putting something out on social and hoping they book an appointment, because no one goes from step 1 to step 10 right away. It's like telling a patient on their very first day, they're like, I'm a little reluctant to be here, but like so many people said you're amazing and I know I need to change my life and I'm ready for it. And you look at them, you're like, great, I need you to meditate 7 hours a day. They'll be like, I'm not coming back. We don't give a level 10 intervention when someone is at a level 1 stage of changing their life. That's so silly. We're like, of course we wouldn't do that, Megan. Even if you believe that meditation is important, even if you know that this level 10 thing is a place where you want them to go, it's part of the outcome. Same thing with marketing. We need to understand there's nuance here. Even if meditation saved your life, it's not what we do on day 1. Unless you run a meditation center, in which case your marketing has told people we do this on day 1. But that's the exception. So the purpose of marketing is to move them to the next step, So if we're talking about AI supporting our marketing, we need to understand that it is an ecosystem of effort. It's not just a tool for social media. It's not just a tool to help us deliver and deploy a webinar. It's not just a tool that emails people. We actually need to make sure we're looking at the entire ecosystem. Just like health, we are experts in dealing with complex ecosystems. As a reminder from yesterday, what does this look like in real life? The top of funnels are findability. When people find your beautiful website, when they see your amazing content, when they read your incredible blog, when they listen to you on that amazing podcast, when they caught you on that YouTube channel, there's so many ways to do it. You don't have to do them all. Pick one that works for you. Show up consistently. Again, the goal is not that they become your lifelong patient. The goal is that simply we move them to the next step. No matter where you choose to show up, tell them how they could learn more. Did you find this conversation interesting? No problem. I made this incredible tool for you. I'm going to cough. You can mute. I don't want to cough my way through this. We are going to be proactive here. I'm investing in my future self. And your ears. And I'm going to cradle this little puppy here, like my security blanket. 2 to 5% of people are going to become your patients just from those frontline efforts. The goal is not that they're booking right away. The goal is they're moving on to the next step. What did we talk about yesterday as being an instrumental next step? An automated education system. Why? Why am I doing this, Megan? Only 8 to 12% of people are going to put up their hands. Why? Because you're going to shorten the sales cycle. You are going to be part of those business statistics if it takes people 5 years to swing back to see you. You're like, I've retired now. We need to shorten the sales cycle. We need it to happen sooner. Where do 60 to 80% of your conversions come from? They come from nurturing. They come from giving people consistent value, from consistently showing up with authority. Remember we talked about fate this morning? Remember we talked about tempo? That's the T. Remember we talked about consistency? This is an area where consistency would matter in your business. How you nurture people. How you arrive on their doorstep. How you strategically re-engage your audience. These things matter. Because 60 to 80% of your patients come from here. You know what happens? For some of you in the room, you're like, I don't want to email people because you know what's going to happen? People will unsubscribe. And then I don't have their email addresses anymore. But then they'll never come and see you. That's an example of a risk you need to be willing to take because the cost of inaction is so high. There's no value to hoarding inactive email addresses. Show up consistently. The people who want to hear from you are going to open them and the rest are going to move on. That's okay. You don't want to treat them anyway.